Давайте починати потихеньку, до нас будуть приєднуватися, але поки ми тут зробимо інтро, поки так всі приєднаються, то я думаю, час вже будемо потихеньку починати. Так, Caitriona Mordan is going to join us. There is some technical problem. Я думаю, що ми можемо починати українською. У нас таке коротке вітальне слово буде від Міністерства економіки. Олексій Бахтінов є з нами. Це команда реформ при Мінекономіки. І цей захід відбувається в рамках проекту Interact Europe, Accelerate GDT. GDT – це Green Digital Transition. Так, Caitriona is with us. Yeah. Hi, Caitriona. You are muted. Yeah.
Hi, how are things? Sorry,
Yeah.
I just had difficulty with the link there. One sec.
Okay, it works. So maybe I switch to English to be more explicit. And we just entered into the project which is called Accelerate GDT, Green Digital Transition. We were with Ministry of Economy in Italy 2 weeks ago, and we were happy to meet many colleagues from different country, and our special interest was to the presentation to this sharing experience and best practice of Irish cluster ATIM. Yeah, so we invited Caitriona Mordan to share her experience because topic reskilling, upskilling is especially relevant and really hot topic for us. Just, you know, this consequence of the war in Ukraine is really. There are many issues, how to, there are really a big change in all labor market in many industry and so on. So that's why we decided to start with this topic in this project, but maybe we can start with greeting words from Олексій Бахтінов. Олексій, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Олександр. Вітаю вас, шановні друзі. Я представляю тут, як сказав Олександр, і команду підтримки реформ Міністерства економіки, і як таке Міністерство економіки, саме напрям розвитку реального сектору економіки. Олександр розказав 2 слова про те, що наразі це відбувається, всі події відбуваються в рамках проєкту Interact. Він покликаний до стимулювання економік учасників до переходу від індустріальної, від галузевої моделі економіки до кластерної моделі економіки. Наразі дуже сильно цей стрім починає розвиватись і у нас. Принаймні на це нарешті звернули увагу і вищі органи влади, тому що всі ці проекти наразі вони підтримуються Міністерством економіки на рівні профільного заступника міністра. І це тільки початок, тобто наша сьогоднішня зустріч – це тільки початок серії активності, зустрічі, різних івентів і практичних кроків, тому що тільки розмовами і поділом досвіду це не буде обмежуватись. Тобто планується, що в принципі кластерний підхід до розбудови економіки війде в нашу практику і що це є наше найближче майбутнє. Я дуже вдячний вам за те, що ви висловили свою зацікавленість, те, що ви залучені до цього процесу. Для української економіки це фактично історичний процес. І дуже сподіваюся, що на цьому нашому першому івенті ви отримаєте нову цікаву інформацію, тим більше, що Катерина, дійсно, в неї є практична інформація по застосуванню кластерного підходу до розбудови і перебудови економіки регіонів. І це буде тільки першою цеглинкою до великого і перспективного стриму розвитку нашої держави. Дякую.
Дуже дякую, Олексій. Так, для нас теж дуже, як кажуть, важливо, і ми дуже раді, що Мінекономіки з нами в цьому проєкті, що дійсно зараз відбуваються зміни, і саме зміни по кластерним політикам – це дуже важливий для нас такий елемент розвитку. So let's go to the first presentation. Maybe at the beginning I just describe how we are going to proceed today. So in fact the program today is simple. we will have about a 30-minute presentation from Caitriona Mordan. As I said, it's a TIM cluster. Maybe you will have a question, so don't hesitate to put your question during presentation of Caitriona to the chat. You can write even Ukrainian, we will translate, no problem with that. But it's really up to me very interesting and very relevant to us, to Ukrainian cluster experience. And then we will discuss a little bit with Mike Richardson about collaboration opportunity with Irish cluster. You know that Mike Richardson is our ambassador of Professionals of Ukraine program. He was in photonic clusters in Germany, but today he collaborates a lot with different Irish clusters, mainly dual-use defense. So I think it can be interesting discussion between Caitriona and Mike. And let's say, of course, we are interested of all collaboration opportunity with Irish cluster. This is briefly about our program for today. So Caitriona, the floor is yours, please.
I'll just share this now. Can you see that okay? Is the screen showing okay? I'll just switch.
Yes, in fact, we see like layout of, now it's good. It's great.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so thank you very much, Alex, for the opportunity. I know that we met in Turin. It was a pleasure to meet you and some of your colleagues from the ministry as well. Today, I'm going to outline two projects. One is our talent attraction program called Dream Big, and the second is Reshape as well. So I won't speak too much on Reshape. It'll be mainly about the Dream Big program, okay? The other one is just kickstarted. So if I'm speaking too fast, please let me know. So I suppose the context, which is slightly different than the Ukraine and what you're actually going through now, but similar in the fact that we, are heavily reliant as well on manufacturing, and in particular in my region. So the idea for Dream Big kind of came about. I engaged with 40 companies, 40 manufacturing companies. And because we're quite rural in our position in Ireland, number one, we have a bigger hub for manufacturing compared to nationally, and we employ more people, but that comes at a risk that a lot of young people are not staying in the region because of its rural kind of makeup as well. So we needed to make it more attractive, and if we continued doing the same thing in terms of our outreach programs, nothing was going to change. So we had to do something more on a collective basis and something together to really address this problem. So some of the challenges, as I mentioned, that we're rurally based, it was also an increasing challenge because of digitalization and the level of growth that a lot of the SMEs were experiencing. It was more difficult in terms of time to release people to engage with young people so that they wanted to, but they just didn't have the resources. And also the fact that we had this idea of, one company wasn't going to change the mindset. We had to have continuity in terms of the mindset as well. And we had to be working together so that it was this continuous framing of what we wanted to achieve. And that was not just hitting a handful of students, but, meeting the needs of a number of students. This idea that a lot of advanced manufacturing, we also sit with a lot of ICT professionals as well, which is brilliant because they work with a lot of the manufacturing, but comparatively, manufacturing was considered kind of a dirty profession and for men only. So that was one of our objectives. How do we change this mindset that we need to be inclusive? And with the upstream of robotics and all, how are we going to engage more females and really change perceptions that this is more open in terms of its opportunities for females as well. So just this initiative, we have 6 strategic pillars with our cluster. And this falls under the talent and skills. So our goal with our talent and skills pillar is to prepare our member companies for the skills that they need now, but also preparing their people for the future as well. So as I mentioned, Dream Big focuses on how are we attracting people in, and in terms of the upskilling and retention piece for skills, the Reshape project will be a core initiative, and I will speak about that in a minute as well. So looking at Dream Big. So Dream Big, you know, we worked cleverly. I suppose it's about bringing a number of key stakeholders together to leverage, you know, to have this common and collective voice. So as you can see here on the slide, it's about inspiring and engaging young people in our region to pursue a career in advanced manufacturing. We worked nationally with Engineers Ireland. We worked nationally with our government, I suppose, around this project. And then it had a regional voice in terms of we worked with local authorities, we worked with the Chamber of Commerce, we worked with our 2 RPOs, one being Irish Manufacturing Research, they're an EDIH, and then we worked with TUS, which is the university. And then we worked with different training providers, those entities that provide pathways like apprenticeships. They were also brought in to shaping and forming this initiative as well. But it was largely driven by companies. So we have companies here, they vary in terms of what they do. Decotech is, they provide automotive trims. They work with the large OEMs across Europe. Rytech do fire extinguishers, and they run a kind of they are a global company now. They've expanded a lot. Our robotics and drives make bespoke robotics equipment. Morgan are in the plastics, and they provide also to a lot of the OEMs. They hire 1,100 people across the world, and they employ 750 people in this kind of small base in the middle of Ireland. TEG employ close to 200 people as well. So these are big companies, but they cannot scale to the pace that they want to. So it was about bringing these companies together and demonstrating to young people that there is a variety and that we have strong capability in our manufacturing, and for them to get a sense of what these companies do in 1 week and to inspire them that they have opportunities in the region as well. So what did the week look like? So we had a coordinated program across the company. So each day, the companies, students met in one location, and we were oversubscribed. So initially we said for the pilot that we would have 20 students. This is in one county, that we would have 20 students, and that they would have to demonstrate that they had an interest in engineering and manufacturing to be on the program. We were oversubscribed, and in the end, we took 27 students. We had 15 girls and 12 boys on the program. A key objective was to reduce the barriers to entry as much as possible. So they met each morning at Irish Manufacturing Research, and they were bused to the company that they were going to on that day. And then each day we prepped the company on a theme. So Dream Big stands for digitalization, robotics, engineering, automation, manufacturing. The tagline is to dream big, you don't need to go far. So it's about creating this inspiring piece around that there's lots of opportunity with manufacturing in the region, and to be playful and creative with that. So each day, day one, they went to Decotech, and then in the afternoon, they did a workshop on design thinking. Day two, robotics and drives, and then we partnered with Vex Robotics and the Offaly County Council, who run that program, and they did a hands-on activity on robotics building. TEG, they create components for aerospace and aircraft as well as pharmaceutical, And then in the afternoon, we did an activity that was related to that theme as well. So students created an airfoil. Morgan, they are in the plastic space, but they're also very active in sustainability. So we partnered with another outreach entity, and they created a hands-on activity about sustainability. And with each of these, then the students had to create how they would change the shape of those companies based on those themes as well. So it was very two-way, very interactive. And that really helped the companies, because a lot of them, as you know, you can't let students play with robotics equipment, for example. You know, they need, and students learn in a very hands-on way as well. So it was to get this balanced approach of looking and immersing on the site floor and also working with their hands so that they could really engage with the process. And as a result, a lot of the students really created strong bonds with each other, because they were learning those soft skills like teamwork, like presenting, communication, which are really critical for engineers in the future as well. So just to give you a flavour, and I won't dwell on this, it's really to show the photos. Here, as I mentioned, in Decotech, after that session, they looked at the design thinking workshop on areas that they could work more sustainably, or areas that they felt they could improve on in the future. And actually, the students came up with really good ideas around noise pollution and how they could work and create solutions to that for the company. And they pitched them back then to them at a later stage after the program completed as well. Robotics and drives, they really got a sense to understand, you know, they work with the likes of Procter & Gamble. They could see the robotics, but then it really complemented that they were able to get the hands-on experience and work interactively then in their training room, creating their own bots as well. Subsequently, we had 11 students from the program that continued on to work as teams, and they reached national VEX robotics finals as well. And it's really secured their interest in robotics as a result of engaging in this program too. So similar, you can see here the airfoils that they created as well with TEG. And again, these were activities that these companies could not do. But with the cluster coming in, understanding their type of business, matching them with outreach providers, it really enhanced the experience for the students and made it more meaningful as well for both parties. Here we are in robotics, are in Morgan, and I won't dwell on this. This was in RightTech as well. On the final day then, we brought key audiences together. So we engaged parents, we engaged all the industry partners and their teachers, and invited them to a closing ceremony in Irish manufacturing research. And this was really important because it brought together all of the key actors, and it enabled us to learn from each other what the challenges were, what their interests were, and how we could really put pathways for career support ahead for these students going forward as well. And it was fantastic to see so many parents interested. They were unaware that some of these companies existed in our region and the opportunities that were available. And to have them as part of these discussions was really critical as well. So in terms of our success, you can see here that I suppose I mentioned the key takeaway was that we had a lot more females. The females that were engaged with these programs, you know, subsequently they wrote blogs, they were interviewed by local media as well. They have been on the radio with me. They have been on the radio with the industry partners. So it's really set a seed for them to be role models. They have gone to primary schools talking about the program and about advanced manufacturing. So we are really providing a platform with Dream Big to create a more robust ecosystem where we're putting young people at the center of it, and they're becoming champions and they're becoming role models, and we are just really supporting them navigate that process as well. I suppose a lot of them came across that they really improved their communications and presentation skills, which wasn't a core objective, but the fact that they had to come every afternoon, reflect upon their learning in the organization and present back in sessions that would be very business-like. They said they really grew a lot, and we got that feedback from their parents a lot as well, that they really developed professionally throughout the week themselves. I'm going to share this. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this. Oh my God. Will it play? I don't know if that will play. Just one sec. No, it's not playing the media. I can share that with you after.
If it's on YouTube, you can share after or just send us a link.
Yeah. I'll just.
Or maybe this way.
No, it's saying that it's not playing.
Okay.
Okay. So I suppose based on the success, there was a strong appetite then to say, how could, I'll just switch this, sorry. How could we engage more people? Because as I mentioned, we were limited, the fact that we could only let maybe around 20 students on the shop floor, you know, it was a pilot. And the goal now is that we have 4 counties, 4 areas in our region, and we're going to develop that each to expand it. So 17 companies will be engaged from this year in that immersive week. But we also felt that that was limiting. You know, how do we engage with someone at the back of a class that really could be really engaged and really value add to companies, but doesn't yet know that they have an interest? Okay, so we have created a dual approach, which we're currently rolling out. So that will be where we have our Dream Big immersive experience, and that will commence in November of this year. We will have up to 80 students engaged with that, and 17 companies, 16 or 17 companies engaged with that as well. So similar format to what I just shared, except on an expanded remit. We're also going to engage and embed into the curriculum. And this is bringing an industry context into the curriculum as well. So within the university, which is locally based, they also train up the technology and engineering teachers. The engineering curriculum, which is currently on, you know, is around 30 years longer. I think it's there since the 1970s, some of it. So it's not really reflective on the type of work that a lot of our companies are working on and engaging with at the moment. So we are creating these modules, which we will be able to bring into the curriculum, train teachers up on it, and as a result, hopefully inspire more young people. But we're going to put the industries that we work with at the center of that. So it will look at a 360 video, and that will be able to capture the engineering processes across the DREAM acronym. So looking at digitalization, like IoT, digitalization, robotics, engineering, automation, and advanced manufacturing, which will include things like sustainability, and to really be a bit more inclusive as to what's happening in the region across these elements and how they can embed in the program. So teachers will get recognition for the work that they're doing. Students will get recognized for the work that they're doing. And overall, with those initiatives, we hope to engage up to 5,000 students over a 3-year period for both activities as well. So just to demonstrate there that with these, this is our region, and that we will be engaging across schools and across companies, individuals, parents, the whole ecosystem. And we have engagement now with financially from these companies, but also from their commitment to engage with the program in terms of content provision for the micro modules, but also for their time to open up their doors as well. So it's really a holistic program for engagement, and it's bringing in all of these key partners as well. So overall, we will engage, as I said, over a 3-year period, just over 5,000 students with the initiative as well. And we hope that this will have far-reaching benefits longer term. In terms of that evidence of success to date, as I said, we have that financial commitment from the companies and the entities. We also have strong engagement with the Department of Education. We are looking at changing the education remit that we have around engineering and technology and making it more relevant. And we hope that our program will really help seed the ideas and enable further rollout of a contemporary engineering and technology education system as well. We also, one of the key evidence as well that from the companies, that there was a high level of engagement with and a motivation of the employees that we engaged. A lot of the time, it's the same people being asked to open up their doors and support young people coming in. They felt that through this program, a lot of those headaches were alleviated, that it was a really good format, that they just had to do minimal work, but had really high impact for the work that they were doing, and then it freed up their time to just meet with the students in a way that was going to meet their needs rather than run and coordinate the whole activity as well. We had really strong engagement both from national media and putting those company logos side by side. It was the first time that they have ever done that, but they learned a lot from each other, and they got really good partnerships emerging from that piece as well, not only on the talent piece, but other elements of collaboration across our pillars as well. We have since filed, I suppose, our Dream Big acronym as well. And the companies and my steering committee, it was one of their key objectives with that as well, so that we can continue, to roll out this initiative, both maybe in Ireland and beyond. We are looking at a national rollout of the programme after the 3-year period as well. And we already have a strong waiting list from students as well and teachers interested. I suppose the longer term, we did the pilot here. Last year, we are looking at the dual approach from this year, and that will continue then for the next 3 years. We really hope that this is an innovative way of developing the industry education nexus as well, and that it will create ultimately that sustainable pipeline of the talent pipeline for the advanced manufacturing industry, which I mentioned at the start is critical to our region's overall economic development as well. And it obviously aligns, as I presented in Turin, it aligns nicely as well with the Sustainable Development Goals too. So in terms of that kind of transfer piece, I suppose we have a model that we have proven that works, and that we're willing to kind of work on a train the trainer basis as well, and really support you at this critical time for you to kind of alleviate some of that pressure that you have now as well, and support you maybe embed this program into the Ukraine too. I'm going to just quickly now move on to the Reshape project that I mentioned. So the Reshape project focuses on, it works with 3 different universities across Ireland. The cluster is a key partner in this project as well, because we know the industry needs of our region. This program is focused on the same region, but it's about aligning employee needs with the courses that are currently available. And it's about employing the industry needs with the courses that are available. So ultimately, it's quite a dynamic platform that enables employees to input their data, employers to input the data as well, and ultimately to scrape that and align it with courses that are currently present for them to meet the objectives of becoming more sustainable and greener in the future as well. And this project, I'm not going to go into too much detail on it because we are just after starting it, but we're very excited about it. And I think, you know, it could help you as well down the line, and we'd be open to that type of conversation too. So as I said, it targets the region that we're based. It's about capturing the skills and the training needs of the individuals and the companies in the region, and it maps it. And then it's about creating the catalogue. So what we hope that will happen here is that it will enable us as stakeholders in the region to proactively address the skill needs, but to do so not in a way that it will be guessing. It's providing a strong evidence-based approach to where those gaps are and where there are, you know, clear evidence that we are not supporting our employees in the region with certain skills, that we will be able to proactively anticipate that and put in courses and supports that will address those in the short to medium term as well. And that's me.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Caitriona.
No problem. I will stop sharing here.
Yeah, so we have more time for a Q&A session. So there is first question you might be seeing chat if it's the last your project, it's like STEM program or different one.
It is like a STEM program, I suppose. The unique difference here is that it's driven by industry partners. A lot of the STEM initiatives, it's addressing their need in particular. So it's driven by a lot of those 16 partners. We're the conduit for it. And it links in. It's about drawing in the expertise that we have, but the vision there is around industry leading it, and that it's responding to their needs. So yes, it can be. It is a STEM program. Reshape is not a STEM program. It's an upskilling and reskilling program.
Yeah. So it's the target audience is the same. It's the workforce on the market or employees, different industry. Yeah. Okay.
So like dream big is probably, it's a longer term gain. Short term, the gain is that there's a strong reputational enhancement as well. And we're looking at supporting students, I suppose, at the latter stages in their career, in their schooling, so that if they want to progress immediately with the company after school, we're opening up those opportunities which they mightn't be aware of to date as well. And that's that's a key objective as well.
And regarding second project, what is back from manufacturer? What kind of challenges or I don't know, lack of skills? They experience in manufacturing.
Yeah, so we did a skills audit in our region 3 years ago, and having refreshed that and looked at it, it's probably out of date. So a key element with the Reshape project is to create a dynamic system that we will understand in real time what the needs are. The current needs, for example, you know, would look at maybe anything from technician level right up to those kind of software skills that we need to bring in-house into companies so that they can really progress their journey towards Industry 4 as well. So it's really, there's skill shortages everywhere. We're at full capacity in terms of employment in Ireland as well. So across the manufacturing pace, it's, you know, obviously sustainability is such a key topic, trying to find people that have the expertise and the knowledge around that. You know, it's a small pool to pull from, and it's really challenging to try and find those. So the upskilling part is going to be really critical for people that are already sitting in their organizations as well.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you have 16 partners, so typically they are educational institution, or who are they?
16 partners are all industry partners. Okay. And then the other partners include, you know, 3 educational partners, you know, one being the Technological University of the Shannon. And then we have others that are in the training, so that they're in the ETBs. You know, they tend to work with level 5 programs up to level 6 or 7. and that we're trying to bring them, engage everyone, so that a student, as it's about providing information around the diverse career pathways as well for students, and to really bring everyone on the same page so that we have continuity in terms of the communication and engagement with young people in our region as well.
Interesting. And regarding, let's say, budget for this project, it's like your private investment of your member or an engaged partner, or you're supported by regional authority? How it's
so it's not even a co-fund, it's probably a triple fund, that we have some kind of sponsors as well. And then we do look, so there's a different level of payment for if companies want to get involved with the immersive week, and if they want to get involved with the micro modules as well. So the micro modules, like that, there's a cost because we're developing micro modules and the toolkit that will go to schools also. So there is a cost for companies to $2,000 to get involved with Dream Big, the immersive week. And if they want to get involved with the immersive week and the micro modules, it's $5,500. And then that's supplemented further then by the local county councils. So it's really important here that we have a vested interest by all parties and that they are willing to pay for this and that commitment is for a 3-year period. The importance of the 3-year commitment is really so that we can ensure that we will have continuity with our evaluation and that we can track the students engaging in this program and really understand the overall impact that it's having on the region after that period as well.
Yeah, very interesting. So maybe somebody from Ukrainian, because I see in audience, we have our digital innovation hub from Kyiv Polytechnical Institute, some other guys, maybe somebody, if you can want to give some feedback, please do not hesitate. Yeah. Let's say, what is different? Because of course in Ukraine we have also a lot of such activity engaging student and school student or college and so on, how to promote an engineering profession or let's say place in manufacturing. But let's say the issue is that everything is very fragmented. So it can be done with let's say university and some manufacturing enterprise, typically big enterprise. We have a lot of open doors event in university or manufacturer invite student on their site. But it's I don't know if it's I don't remember if we had such, let's say, what we can classify like campaign, like you do during 1 week, some really immersive program and so on. So maybe this is a big difference. Second, what I mentioned, it's very big fragmentation. Maybe you lack such coordination when we can group activity from several end users, several vendors, engineering company, training institution. Up to me, this is like distinguish difference with what you do. Okay, but I'm not really a big expert in such program. Maybe guys, you can comment. Alexander Stepanets, yeah, maybe your opinion will be more valuable. That's my. Can you comment some how we do engagement of, let's say, young people to engineering profession? You're muted. Yeah, just.
Yes, here I am. Hi, everyone. Yes, we have a little problems with engaging young men and women into engineering profession because their career are not clear. Yeah. In Ukraine, still for now, engineering are not so attractive profession like others, like lawyers, account managers, and others.
IT guys, yeah, especially
IT
number
guys,
one is
of
IT.
course, IT guys, yes, because we have big difference in salary with engineers and IT guys. So it's very interesting to know what about salary level in Ireland between IT and engineering professions and manufacturing. Can we compare them, or it's the same, or maybe
it obviously
something
depends.
is doing to do this profession, engineering professions more attractive?
It depends at the level of engineering. Obviously, if you're a chartered engineer, you know, you're getting more money. If you're at like a technician level, that's much less. So it's scalable. Comparatively, again, we have a lot of big tech companies, multinationals. So from those type of companies, they really push up, you know, expectations, I think, with what young people want in the tech world. You know, if you're an engineer in the likes of Facebook, you know, it's a huge salary compared to what we could offer as well in the region. But I suppose what we are trying to do overall as a campaign is to, number one, represent the opportunities that are available here, but also to create connections, you know, with companies, with entities, and then with other students, I think, which is critical as well. So to make that experience really about them connecting with each other as much as possible. So, you know, longer term that they can see, even if they go to university, maybe in a different place, for example, that they remember, you know, in 5 years' time, that there's opportunities on their doorstep as well, and that they can reach out to those companies. Like a key takeaway was some of the students attended a careers fair with me, and they said they just love the fact that they now know the CEOs of these companies and that they can talk to them. Like they didn't even know they existed before. And now that they're in a position to go up and have a conversation with them as well. So I think it's about, you know, some things are hard to quantify, but it's about creating a sense of place. It's about creating a sense of connection as well. And that's really important if we want our young people to be proud of where they come from and to come back in a time as well to kind of to grow the region economically. So it is a long-term gain. But I suppose immediately what we have seen is that some students have changed what they were intended to do at third level, was to do an honours degree. And now some of them have changed their mindset that they're going to do an apprenticeship, and they're already trying to secure opportunities with some of the companies that we had run in that pilot week as well. So we've already got a high level of impact, I think, from it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very interesting.
Yeah, colleague has a question. Nope. So, Caitriona, thanks a lot. So once again, I maybe just summarizing situation in Ukraine, that yeah, maybe coming back to last remark of Alexander, that we have a big deficit and his growing deficit of workforce and engineering in manufacturing, and this is big also lack of workforce in dual-use tech industry, because of course it's very growing demand. And of course, it's just, let's say, the level of deficit workforce. But another problem is about reskilling, upskilling. So yeah, because there was no, let's say, state support or well-organized big program, especially in manufacturing, in reskilling, upskilling. And today, every industry feels this lack of qualified engineer, qualified technician. So we think how to launch this, let's say, maybe to prepare some proposal from Ukrainian Cluster Alliance to our government. We this month we start to prepare such a program, and of course let's say, best experience, what we find in Europe. It's really very valuable for us. What Alexander mentioned, it's also challenge of this big gap between different sector, because IT industry is much ahead, because they invested into this propaganda or collaboration with school, with university since many years. So this is really like, I think it's like in Europe, like in worldwide, because IT industry, they started to prepare their talent for global industry, and it was, let's say, 10-15 years ago. And Ukraine manufacturing during all this time, they did almost nothing. They just waiting and expected that maybe state or public education system will provide them enough stuff. But in reality, it's quite different today. And in many industries, we have really crisis situation with workforce, with engineer, and so on. So this is briefly about, let's say, our challenge, and thanks again for your presentation. I think it will be available for everybody, and this record also will be available for our audience. So don't worry. So now maybe second topic, because like clusters, we Ukraine Cluster Alliance and many of our clusters, they look for international collaboration. And Mike Richardson also contribute to this connection with different country. And as far as today, he's in Ireland. Mike, maybe you can share your experience and your vision, how we can collaborate, what a collaboration opportunity. Because Mike, Caitriona, it's rather for your information. Mike know very well Ukraine. Last year, he visited 5 times Ukraine. He's really know deeply our ecosystem, our clusters, our people, and he let's say he knows both sides, Western one, from Western Europe, and even Irish, and today and Ukrainian. Please, Mike, the floor is yours.
Hello. I don't have a slide deck prepared. I've just spent 3 days at Ireland QCI in Dublin. So, Caitriona, just so you know, I'm in Doneraile, close to Mallow. So, you're near Shannon, so definitely we could have a good conversation, because especially with your manufacturing, there's a lot of linkage that we could describe and opportunities between Ireland and Shannon specifically, especially because of your airport. But we can take this aside. I want everyone here to know that the region that Caitriona's in, there's this beautiful international airport called Shannon, that if you're going to the United States, you're able to pre-clear your immigration function. And there's just really, just to add, there's a lot more to learn about the region she's in. It's absolutely beautiful, a lot of opportunity. So to explain myself, hi, thank you very much for the introduction, Alexander. I've been focusing primarily in my time in Ukraine on space security, defense, and safety. My link in Ireland, who I've been working with very closely at this time, is Tyndall, because I worked with photonics and quantum systems, and also working with an organization called the Irish Defense Security Association in bridging their cluster with the Ukraine space security and defense functions. Part of this is what I would propose is that some of the workforce adjustments can be mapped to the Irish Quantum 2030 project. I believe what you have described, Caitriona, in combination linkage with our Ukrainian partners can be linked to that program, which provides another funding source. So specifically, when we mentioned Galway, before I jump into this a bit more, in your region, Embryonics, for example, who I met with last night, they're a deep technology company that provides optical communication systems for satellites and ground stations. This is the deepest technology you're going to get, and this is in Ireland. They specifically are looking for FPGA engineers. Okay, so why I note that is we've got those in Ukraine. The Ukraine knows how to train those really well. So to move forward with this, because I've been taking notes and adjusting this note right now, if we're talking about preparing for the future workforce and potential opportunities with Ukraine, one area of note that touches the Quantum 2030 project in Ireland is the quantum educational program based out of Ivano-Frankivsk University in Western Ukraine, which has the world's only program for bachelor level education in quantum sciences. This program has been run successfully for 4 years. I believe via our Ukraine interface that this would be very good for Ireland to be the first in the West to really capitalize on this opportunity. It has been presented to the Germans. They have been German in their speed. I propose we engage Ireland with this because there will be quick response. I will be returning to Ukraine on August 7th, and I am very eager to represent your interest, Caitriona, if we can arrange in a time in advance so that I can personally share your message with my Irish colleagues and perhaps have another online meeting where we can bridge this. Let's see. In regards to linking these clusters and the efforts with Alexander, Caitriona, my success is primarily linked to the European Cluster Collaboration Platform, which is then another source of funds that we can use to provide for this bridging function. Secondary, because of the rural aspect that you are mentioning, I hope this is not too discordant. I'm really giving this really quick. I live in Doneraile, Caitriona, and Mala. So we're in a different region, and I guess we'll be friends except for the hurling match. If you get what
I'm going. My husband is from Limerick, so
well, we're friends except for the day of the match. Okay.
It gets very competitive with sport here in Ireland, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, and this is something. So what I would propose is that based on that very quick information, Caitriona, if you'd like to have a follow-through meeting, because I'm in Ireland until the 7th this time, and we could have a follow-up here. And for the Ukrainian colleagues, please to communicate with Alex that I am here present, and my job for the next month is to connect Ukraine and Ireland. Dedicated time for this. So what I would add is going back to the rural is that from my travels in Ukraine and working with primarily seeing some of the localized production for drones. Okay, this is one good example, Caitriona, that this scale of manufacturing complements what the vision is in Ireland. I know that we have some small, let's say, micro manufacturing in the Mala area, and I'm learning about this. I see this extremely complementary, that the programs you're describing, a direct interface with Ukraine, with an exchange of how to do these things, how to build at smaller scale in a rural environment, that Ireland has this experience. As you know, Caitriona, Ukraine does as well. It's a matter of connecting and sharing these connections and finding ways to work. Then lastly, before I go, because this was mentioned to me, agriculture in the rural areas and some of this rural, let's say, up valuing, such as a Super Value has a program, for example, and perhaps we can utilize some of the Ukrainian diaspora to interface with such programs, Caitriona, or if you are aware of other programs that we can utilize the Ukrainian diaspora present in Ireland at this time to provide engagement points for the young people you mentioned, and also to bridge international cooperation and to strengthen our relationship bilaterally. I apologize again if that was a lot of information to dump quickly, and if that was not perfectly formatted. I've been running and taking notes on this. But lastly, I'm deep tech and high tech, and you've got a lot of deep tech and high tech in Ireland. You do in Ukraine as well. And when you're thinking about your advanced manufacturing and aerospace, I mean, we have people in Dnipro, right, Alexander? And this is like technology exchange, worker exchange, all of that. There's great opportunities. Thank you all very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you a lot, Mike. Yeah, that's true that, let's say, like any relationships, any connection, it takes time. It takes, we need to do these efforts to deepen, to establish, to continue. So thanks a lot, Mike, to also for your all your comments. Regarding, let's say, perspective or our, let's say, intention, really we would like to connect, because of course we can collaborate in international project like we have today with Caitriona, Interact Europe, this Accelerate GDT. We can look for other funding opportunities pan-European level, but of course we're looking as well for on other opportunity. We expect there will be bigger program started this autumn, this recovery of Ukraine, this facility plant is the correct name, which will provide many opportunity to Western investor, also to how to build some new plants, especially in manufacturing, it's about recovery of Ukraine. And of course, in the domain of dual use mill tech, we are looking for some special government program. For example, we have today a lot of talks about Danish program, because it's not just about delivery of Danish, let's say, milk tech product or even to Ukraine, but it's also about localization in Ukraine, local producer, but supported by Danish company. So I don't know what is panorama landscape of Ukrainian Irish, let's say, such program, such level, but we can look at them. If we find something, of course we can go inside and to look for some opportunity. Yeah, it's also can be done.
Okay.
I would recommend, based on my knowledge of Irish sensibilities right now, and Caitriona, you can help me with this, is that we need to be very explicit in our separation and dual use on what's a weapon and what's not. We don't use those words here in Ireland, and what I've learned, and where that when we are separating those capabilities, why we would do that is because Ireland has a significant world-leading healthcare industry and biotechnology industry that would match quite well with what I have seen in Ukraine and my knowledge of, let's say, Ukraine as a pharmaceutical manufacturer, and that these interfaces, and so that in regards to the bucket of funding for dual use, as long as we maintain this very clear sensibility, because we need to really respect Irish sensibilities on this in order to be effective. And that's not only out of respect, it's to be effective with these programs, that we be really mindful and separating, so that in regard to space security and defense in that area, like I would say, like as an example, Caitriona, you probably agree with me. If we're doing things about making bandages, healthcare, this sort of thing that is applied in the dual use realm, that will gain more traction quickly in Ireland and more support as opposed to the other things. Caitriona, could you chime in on that? Am I right on that?
Yeah, like it's not part of our rhetoric. I think it's not explicit that we would work on defense. It's just part of our national strategy, but obviously we can help with other. I think you're right, Mike. It's about helping with other avenues where we have expertise and how we can lean in to help bolster Ukraine in other ways as well. Now, manufacturing can be an element of that, like with drones and whatnot. But yeah, it's better not to be explicit in Ireland. It's something that I've noticed when working with the European Cluster Collaboration Platform as well. It's very different in Ireland, where we focus on economic growth, we focus on regional activities that lean into strengths and overcome those gaps, as opposed to leaning in strongly on defense is just not a word used.
Mm-hmm.
Rightly or wrongly?
Yeah, and again, it's like it's just the landscape, Alexander. So the other activities we have are moving forward very quickly and are doing well in regards to Tyndall. But it's really sharing here and showing you confirmation from Caitriona that we need to be very mindful how we navigate this, and how we describe it.
Yeah. Let's keep in touch. Mike, you said that you come to Ukraine 7th of August, right?
Right. So I'll give you the full plan. It'll be the full month. So I'll be in Lviv, Kiev. I'll give you the schedule, and then we would be able to support more. And then Caitriona, please, in the background, I don't want to monopolize this meeting. My time is done. Please, via Alexander, reach out to me. We can arrange a face-to-face and drive this forward.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So maybe last information just for everybody, but especially for Ukrainian audience of this webinar. So what we going to do next, because we prepare this, let's say, proposal of program reskilling, upskilling to Ukrainian government, but also to international institution. So it will be centered rather around manufacturing. Even we don't exclude, but it can be different. Yeah, for example, for medical, because we have also some in the UCA resource center which unites several clusters, medical clusters. It can be different, but let's say what we already started is to talk to center this program around manufacturing, because up to me it's really the biggest demand for workforce, for engineer. And we are talking about several components, of course, how to better specify, profile new profession, new discipline, we want to create some, because we have already experience even cluster community when our regional cluster, for example, in furniture, in textile, they create with international donors some local training center, and they are very successful. So we think how to scale up, how to create this network of such vocational training center, and really specified to some critical industry, critical sector, of course, with new training program. This is a huge challenge. We have very obsolete education infrastructure, especially in manufacturing specialization, or professions. So it should be changed. And of course, the very important element for us it's a DIG network, digitalization hub. It should be extended in Ukraine by the end of this year, because we have special European Commission program which aim to launch in Ukraine about 5 European digitalization hub. And of course, we think how to collaborate with them, how to specialize them also for this target of reskilling, upskilling. Another component we work on, it's of course online program. We have really great program oriented to general digital skills, IT, like Prometheus, but very few online platform serve today to manufacturing or to preparing engineer. This option is very connected to automation, digitalization, because it's clear that before big enterprise, they try to maintain their own stuff for maintenance, for example. And today, with mobilization of men to army, there is less and less such stuff in big manufacturing. So we think how to move them and accelerate their moving to service model. And with that outsourcing option, that means outsourcing local engineering company, even for maintenance task, it looks like quite a perspective. And of course, what is really we really appreciate this experience from Ireland, from maybe other countries in the future, but really we think how to organize this massive campaign targeted for yes, 18-25, also women and veteran, because many veteran comes back from army and they're looking for jobs. And so this is all the main component of our let's say program. We want to prepare this, I don't know, 5-10 pages, document like position paper from UCA, where we clearly define our position and address it to government, to international organization. And of course, several options, because it's all clear that it's also like solution to tackle with challenges of deficit of the staff in manufacturing. It's accelerated automation, digitalization. Of course, this option demand more investment, capital investment. But as far as the Association of Industrial Automation of Ukraine, APAU, is of course it's our mission, and we also mobilize our member to this option. So this is briefly about our plan, intention on July. We want to prepare such program, and we invite especially Ukrainian professional to join our working group. Because it will be like anyway coordinated by Ukrainian cluster lens. I don't know if it was enough clear, enough explicit this last slide, but well, it's just to coordinate our efforts. Okay. So we are in time. So if colleagues, no question from our audience, some remark, comments. Можете українською, Ельвіра, будь ласка, да. Please, Ельвіра.
Дякую. Я можу англійською. Thank you very much, Caitriona and Mike, for your information. I was impressed with the experience of your cluster and your organization. I don't have any question, but I would like to ask you to share with us with presentation, if it's possible, of course.
Yeah, that's no problem. I can do that.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'll send it over to Alex.
Oh, well, okay. I will take it from Alex. And because we are involved in the project in which we are going to create a roadmap for profession training, and I promise we will not take it step by step from your material, but we are interested in the presentation because we would like to see some structures, some principles, and so on, so on. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's something like, obviously with the micro modules, it's very much school-based, but it's probably looking at the different pillars that you have at the different ages and having continuity between them. So looking at your age categories, you know, we had discussions with my steering committee that it could also be extended to engage maybe with people that are in training centers, you know, maybe they're at a level 6, level 7, and they're, you know, it's about engaging them as well, and that they could do that rotation across a number of companies and maybe get a fund, you know, to work with some of the companies, or a trial basis or something like that at the end, which might incentivize them. So there's kind of a few alternatives that we have up our sleeves that might fit your age cohort as well.
Well, thank you.
Okay, great. Yes, Mike. Mike reminded me about the group photo. So please turn on your camera, everybody. Включіть, будь ласка, ваші камери, щоб ми зробили групове фото цього вебінару. Кажуть, буде звіт, будуть у нас комунікації. Всі, хто може, включіть, будь ласка, ваші камери. Так, у нас ще є люди, будь ласка, включіть. Так, Юля, Caitriona, you remember Юля Ришкова? She was with us. Yeah, please still. Yeah, Mayhart. Yeah, I forgot about you. Maybe you can just. We have Mike. We have Mayhart Schneller from Germany here as well, and we will talk next week in KPI in our event, physical event. But Mayhart, he represents instrumentation, automation instrumentation, let's say his own company, and he worked with us. Yesterday we discovered that we met first time maybe 7 years ago, and today it's like a new iteration.
Sehr schön. Where is he from? Wo aus Deutschland? Where?
Dortmund. But actually, I'm traveling a lot, so I'm all over Germany, sometimes also all over Europe.
Dortmund, yeah. Dortmund, sehr schön. Oh, guys, that's awesome. Dortmund. Ukrainians, you got to visit Dortmund. It's a nice city. It's really cool.
Okay, I did just one. Maybe Lesia or Ira did another. Just this screen of photo. I do my own. And just a minute. Okay, it's done. So thank you, everybody. Keep in touch. Thank you, Caitriona. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for all our guests. And let's keep in touch and continue. We will do this webinar in the project of Interact Europe. We'll have another such exchange with other participants from Hungary, from Spain, maybe in July. And let's continue, because everything around cluster policy about collaboration, networking, not just in manufacturing, but that's general cluster collaboration is really our target, our main direction where we develop in Ukraine Cluster Alliance. Thanks a lot and have a good day.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.